the Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Blessings.
The East is where we're from. The 12 tribes of Israel. In 721 BC, the Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell.
Come on, hit the like button, hit the like
the
button.
Great escape, we went through the Euphrates. The Lord held the water still.
The Lord held the water still. Come on.
To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel. So we be Manasseh.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Come on in.
From Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel.
Blessings, blessings, blessings.
The North American Indians.
Simeon, the Dominicans.
Our highest gathering is Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us. Together our wives and children then sold us.
In the belly
of these great ships,
we traveled in fear.
By the rivers of Babylon, we found our brothers here. A higher gather us. Oh, from Australia, it's the Mexicans. A highest gathering is right here.
From the power on high. The Most High's gathering Israel. Come on in, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm Elder Rawchaa along with Elder Lawya. I'll bring them in one moment. Here of the Gathering of Christ Church, here with our weekly podcast, whatever you would like to call it. We've been doing this for a long time, probably before there was any meaning for podcasts. But all praises be to the Most High Ahaya. In the name of Yeshua, we come before you, elders of the Gathering of Christ Church, brothers and sisters, in the midst of the Trump month, literally, the month of trumpets, the years of prophecy when it comes to New Year. And boy, is there have a lot gone on between the time of the memorial blowing of the trumpets to the atonement. And man, are we thick in it. And what am I talking about? Jacob's trouble. Now, usually what I do is I go in and I talk about, hey, join the Hebrew and Bible Academy, because that's where we can get uncensored news. But being that we're behind the time, number one, And on top of that, there's so much news going on at one time, at the same time, I thought I would just jump right into it. And brothers and sisters, we are in some serious times, according to prophecies. Baruch gave us the prophecies in the book of Daniel, the book of Revelation. Above all, Christ told us exactly what we would be experiencing at this time. Now, we're here to plant the seed, whether the people hear or forbear. He that have an ear, let him hear. We're going to go in today and quantify this according to the Bible exactly what's going on. You see the title right in front of you, Race War Propaganda, Nation Against Nation. Brothers and sisters, since they locked down during the COVID thing, I'm going to tell you right now, the Most High have had this channel get in front of everything that they're doing. The Bible actually gave us an insight to what's exactly going to happen. And that's a long time ago. I mean, before YouTube, we were teaching these prophecies on the streets. So it's easy to understand when they put in propaganda that will lead to some of what we see in prophecies unfolding. But because Satan is a deceiver, a liar, he must do what? He must deceive us into going along with the destruction he's planning against the children of Israel. Now, I'm going to give you a few examples of what we told people back then, leading up to right now before I bring Lawya in. And before we bring in some of the clips with Donald Trump and others so that we can make sense of all this confusion, because they have everyone looking every which way. But brothers and sisters, we must understand at the end of the day, we're not to look in all these different directions. You, as a child of God, is the target. So I'm going to be able to quantify for you by showing you, even during COVID, when all that happened, we told everybody what to do. A lot of people, because they were triggered emotionally and were what? Buried in sin, couldn't see through what was going on at the time. When they put something out there, folks, it's not what you think it is. It's for the reaction. Being that the solution is already waiting in a storehouse somewhere, or in a military barrack somewhere. Okay? We told you, don't listen to it. The Most High has a judgment coming down on the earth where death is sweeping through the earth, and he's allowing these elites to operate. And through that, if we follow what they're saying, you'll get caught up in the smoke. I have a brother, I mentioned I have family who didn't listen. I got a brother, I got a family member who can't even walk now because there was no reason for him to take it other than he was listening to the news and got scared. We looked into things and come to find out that if it comes to any injury, and y'all know what I'm talking about in code, all right? If there's any injury, you would have up to 2 years to put in a claim. From 2 years with what? With a doctor confirming that you actually got injured by that. And after 2 years, then what? The lawyers could not sue after a 2-year period if there was an injury. Well, now I understand right now why even on YouTube, we got many YouTube handlers and people on YouTube saying the things that they couldn't say when the pandemic happened. Because why? It's past the 2 years. It doesn't matter because lawyers cannot go after the companies now. But even going back then, there was something suspicious because it seems like they were aiming everything towards black people, our neighborhoods, underprivileged, Africa, the poor areas. And I'm like, hold up for a second. What disease out there that just operates in the air that aims race specific? You understand? A disease is a disease. If I get a cold, it doesn't matter if I'm standing next to someone that's an Asian and he has a cold and give it to me. The cold doesn't care what race we are, right? And when I started seeing them giving out coupons, when I seen the drugstores paying $50 in our neighborhoods for people to go out and get that stuff in them, when I seen the news continually stating things like there's only a limited supply, so we should target, or not target, we should make sure the underprivileged and the poor people get it first. I got in front of it and told everyone what it was. And I'm saying to you right now, the Most High been showing us through the whole program that since they've been rolling it out, exactly what they're going to do. And then after they was able to attack and get many people out of the way from that, then it went into allowing a lot of illegals, or what they call undocumented, or who knows, mercenaries into specific areas where our people live. I got in front of that because I understand, according to the Bible, what the nations are doing. These are pagans that are being utilized to come against our people at the end day, now that Judah has awakened, and Judah has begun to awaken the children of Israel throughout the earth. They're losing control, and they must do everything to gain back control. So they started letting all these people in, coincidentally, making any place where our people are high in population, any areas we live, became sanctuary cities. And I told everyone, what did I say? I told you all. I said for years they've been doing a lot of news propaganda where you have people looking into crisis actors and others made news scenarios that lead into the government passing legislation against our citizenry, right? Whether it be Sandy Hook or whatever, all these others out there, you would have YouTube journalists who are really better journalists than the paid for corporate news we see today. We had YouTube journalists showing people that was in certain drills in one event, and then they're being shown in a different event. And then people started looking at it and saying, well, hold up, something is going on. How is this guy was there at 911 and then he's at this event? This guy or woman shows up at every catastrophic event, and people started putting two to two together, that they would have sirens going while the media talking heads were narrating an event. Now, mind you, an event that none of us witness with our own eyes or ears. And I tell people, don't believe anything you don't see yourself. But be mindful of the psyop that affect people who believe in it. Because if it's real to them, the reaction and what they do from what they see on the news will play out real time. So we have to understand what they're putting out there. If it's propaganda, whether or not it's true, it doesn't matter if someone out there believe it and act on it. So at that time I said, well, get ready for them to, when you bring in Ukrainians, bring in Eastern Africans, bring in other African people, look for them to use these people who are undocumented for their new events coming out of COVID after the migration. I said the majority of the issues out there is going to be through foreigners. Why? No one knows them. You can't track whether or not the names they're using is correct. They're undocumented. None of us can do the research we used to do as journalists on YouTube. And now they can use that story, any story out there, to pass legislation against us. Like, for instance, if there's a black man that does a crime, even though he was let in by these foreigners, see, these foreign entities, they can now use that person to do crime and claim that's black crime. So when other races see us, they will what? They will relate us to the crime that should be attributed to a person that we have nothing to do with. And then, just say hypothetically, something happens to a white person. Let's say a white woman from another country. See? Automatically, we buy into that King Kong still in the white woman trope. On top of that, Negro in the beast under eugenics, where because these satanic white geeks coming up back then was so insecure, they had to lie to our people and lie to their own people behind closed doors in these social circles after slavery, during Reconstruction, claiming that black men are going to rape white women. Black men are the enemy because they were insecure. Because why? They know that their same women were lusting after our black men even during slavery. So if we were going to get let back into regular population as citizens, they would have to put something out there. This fear tactic to claim, well, they're low IQ. They're this, they're that. They're criminals. See? So that's how they would put that crime label, to have the plausible deniability to come at us under what? Under the cloud of crime. So when they say tough on crime, it's an old game. Outright, they're coming after the children of God. So we're going to talk about it tonight. Because for a long time, even Biden mentioned, brothers and sisters, that the birth rates for the whites in the United States has gone down exponentially. With them using feminism as well as birth controls to weaponize as weapons against our people, what they didn't bank on is the fact that their children follows us. See? You thought that feminism was going to only affect us, right? But no. Your women got a taste of that and said, you know what? We don't like our own men either. See how that works? We're just not going to let the black woman be free and liberated. See? So what you did to affect our birth rates has backfired. Right? Feminism, all these isms, birth control, free love, and all these others. You thought that the white woman was just going to stay pat, 10 toes down, with you laughing on the other side. You thought it was just going to affect us, and then the white woman was going to just snap right back in order. But no. What happened was you reap what you sow, and now your birth rates are tanking. Now that the birth rates are tanking, the Bible says, I've made Esau small amongst the heathen. What Esau's doing now is he's calling in backup from other nations to war against Jacob, our people. And now what they want to do, they want to trigger the ill-informed. Listen to this. They want to trigger the ill-informed, emotional, unstable, incel white man. Right? So these stories, what are these stories doing? If you put out a story, it gives the incel who need an opportunity or a cue to come against Jacob. Only thing they need is what? An excuse. But our people were smart. Through the Spirit of the Almighty, we pray, and we told people, do not go out to any of these marches. Don't do anything. They're seeking to provoke us into a physical altercation. Our people been minding our business. So they're like, okay, these marches don't work anymore. They don't work. So now we need a reason. Now the government is saying, well, we're going to have a reason to push on them. Let's say it's crime and let's call in the armies and all that and let's push against them now. But our people didn't react to the tanks and the military marching. So our people aren't really committing crime. So, just like the weapons of mass destruction, propaganda, the media starts spinning away like they did during 9/11. Weapons of mass destruction, yellow cake, the media inundation, crime. So that now, who? Trump has to react not to real crime going on out there, but to the media propaganda, which leads to them triggering social incels who will now act out and begin to war against our people. Let me tell you, what we're seeing today is the George Floyd on the flip side. But there's a difference. See? And I told people don't go out there with that garbage, George Floyd garbage. Okay, I told people don't go out there. It was a DNC fuel and all that. Okay, stay in your house. There's a disease out there. But you can go out if you're marching for George Floyd, right? I told people, don't go out there. So now they flipped it. Here's the difference. When it's a George Floyd or a black person getting killed, propaganda, because that's what it was. Our people may break a few windows, steal a few Xboxes, loot in a certain area, and go home. See? When we believe the propaganda, we just tear a few things up and may hurt ourselves a little bit, with being viewed as looters. But when the shoe is on the other foot, and now they are the victim, white men react differently. They're not going out. They're not going to go out and steal an Xbox if they believe the narrative of what the media is saying. See? They're not going to go out there and throw Molotov cocktails and all these others. Molotov cocktails. They ain't going to throw those. What they'll do is stand behind closed doors and meet and lurk like they used to do way back in the 1800s, early 1900s, and say, well, if they take one of us, we'll take 10 of them. If they believe the propaganda. So since the media couldn't stoke us into engaging publicly that will lead to the government coming at us, they started lighting the fire on the other side, knowing that the ignorant whites who will believe the propaganda will act on the propaganda. So because of that, I thought I would warn brothers and sisters, because they want something to start on either side, and our people refused. We refused to take the bait. So they lit the other side, and you know what? The other side is going to react. So what must we be? How should we operate knowing it doesn't matter whether or not what they're putting in the media is true? You have some people out there, white men who've been waiting for a moment to come and destroy as many people as they can, knowing there will be no consequences for their reaction based on how the media have been portraying us for the last 6 months, 7 months. Elder Lawya, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Shalom.
Shalom, Lawya. Shalom. Bless you. Bless you. Let me bring you in. All right, Elder Lawya. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. All right. So, Elder Lawya, first of all, before I go through some of the videos, how the media is stoking this, I have to tip my Mitri off to my brothers and sisters out there who listened through each stage of these prophecies since the lockdowns. And,
right.
and us through the Spirit of the Almighty, warning the people, do not go out to no protests. Don't do anything. Don't become their crash dummies anymore, because they're seeking to physically engage our people. So I got to thank the Most High that our people are listening. Our people's like, listen, nah. Y'all believe in immigrants? Y'all believe in non-documented people? This is where y'all putting all your chips right in front of them? I'll tell you what, since you giving it all to them, hey, we're going to mind our business. Y'all do this thing on your own. We're not going to be your test dummies no more. Right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So now they're stoking a race war. And we need to show brothers and sisters what is propaganda? Right? What is propaganda? What is wagging the dog? And then we're going to go through a few scriptures, and I have a few videos to show. And then we're going to tell people what to do in the midst of when something happens and the media begins to create all this smoke. What to do when the media drum up smoke. All right? Because they know that there's going to be some people out there who believe what the news say and are going to act off of it. What does that mean for you? All right. Now, propaganda. Let's get the meaning. All right. All right. Let's get the meaning for propaganda real quick. Right?
Propaganda.
Propaganda. The systematic propagation of a doctrine or cause of information reflecting the views and interests of those advocating such a doctrine or cause. Right? Now, do y'all know that the government, the United States, I'm going to type it in while you're looking. The United States Department of Propaganda. There it is. Ministry of Propaganda. A Ministry of Propaganda, also known as Agency, Bureau, or Department of Propaganda, is the part of a government charged with generating and distributing propaganda. What's that? Well, if there's a plan that the government want, and we know it's a New World Order, and the people aren't falling into line in the ideology that will lead to them setting up these systems, then the government must kick in and show some propaganda, which will get all people on board with whatever the government would like to do. Usually it happens under the spirit of fear. If there's a catastrophe, a bomb, a disease, usually that's a cause for everyone, eyes and ears, to be in one place for the government to inseminate the propaganda that will get everyone on board. See that? What does propaganda does? What is it? Propaganda. Right? Let me go back here. Propaganda is communication that is primarily used to influence or persuade an audience to further an agenda, which may not be objective and may be selectively presenting facts to encourage a particular synthesis or perception, or using loaded language to produce an emotional, hold up, I have to get this whole thing. All right? Or using a loaded language to produce an emotional rather than a rational response to the information that is being presented. So they must play on your emotions. See? Because when it's an emotional scenario, you are not reasoning with logic. You believe these people are telling you the truth, and now they've broken through the logic barrier. so that you can now be what? Controlled through the propaganda. See? All they have to say is some kids died, someone got stabbed, someone got shot, a bomb dropped somewhere. Now your guards are down, because the last thing you would believe is that the government would use propaganda or lies under these circumstances. Like, who would do something like this? Satanist? Who would be that dishonorable and play on people's emotions like this? Satanist? See? So I wanted to give y'all a little education so that when y'all look at the news, if you don't see it happening in front of you, don't believe it. If TV have shown us anything while looking at a lot of these movies and all of this, they can make anything look real. Right? Now, it's not to say that people aren't going to react who aren't watching as well as praying like us. So what are we to do in a world where people can be triggered emotionally into believing this? And how can that have a negative effect on those who believe in God? That's why you are here. Right? That's why you are here. Elder Lawya. So let's go into the Bible real quick. Let's first start with 2nd Baruch. We're going to start at 2nd Baruch because we've been going here regularly since the lockdowns happened, so we can show people what's going on. And I want to say this also, especially for brothers and sisters who are going out camping, during tabernacles. Right? We have to make sure we keep our eyes and ears on the camp and our children protected under the current climate that's going on right now with the satanic propaganda that's pointing out black people as criminals. Okay? So let's go here real quick, Elder. We're going to, and thank you all. If you can, as you file in, please hit the like button for us, please. And of course, we're going to have enough time to open up for some phone calls today to allow, because I need y'all to give y'all insight and let me know if people that you know out there at the job or whatever the case might be are buying into the propaganda. Right? Come on, and I'm going to show you something in a minute, but let me first, one moment. Let me move this here. Yeah, that's better. That's better there. All right. Elder Lawya, if you will, 2nd Baruch, which is a part of the original Hebrew records, all right? You won't find this in your Bible, but you will find 1st Baruch in the original King James Version Bible. And this book is amongst the is a part of the Apocrypha in the original King James. Okay, well, there's more than one Baruch. Okay, there's 3 Baruchs. Okay, and we're in 2nd Baruch right now, and let's show prophetically what's going on according to the prophet Baruch. Let's start at 24, Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir. 2nd Baruch 24, verse number 1. For behold, the days come and the book shall be opened, in which are written the sins of all those who have sinned. And again, all the treasuries in which the righteous of all those who have been righteous in creation is gathered. For it shall come to pass at that time that thou shalt see, and the many that are with thee, the long suffering of the Most High, which has been throughout all generations.
Now let's stop. Let's stop real quick. We're going to see the long suffering of the Most High. What does that mean? The Most High want to end these evildoers, these sinners, these evil elites. He would like nothing better but to destroy them now. But he's long suffering because what? He's trying to wait for his people, a number of his people, to come under the hedge before he destroyed the elite powers who control the earth right now, led by Rome. So he's long suffering. He will like nothing better but to destroy right now. But for our sake, if he destroy right now with so many of our people being what? Being covered in sin. See, Satan don't care. He know his judgment in the future. He know what's going to happen to him. But he's trying to take as many as our people with him. So through his programming, he have led our people under sin so that our people would die, so that we would die with them. So the Most High is like, you know what? If I take them out, then many of my people aren't going to have a chance to repent. So I'm going to hold back. Let the word go out and give my people an opportunity to be hedged and protected by me. He's holding back the winds. He's telling the angels, don't destroy right now because there's a lot of my people who just aren't sure they're good people, and let's give them time to choose a side. That's how much the Most High loves us. Because if we had that number and our people was right and we had that 144,000, the Most High would take them out right now. But the synagogue of Satan set up their corporations. They started paying poor people, our people who have nothing, to show the optics of degeneracy. Started showing gangster rap and knowing that what? Through the programming, others would copycat and begin that. Paying Sexy Red and strippers and all these others to have the image of sin, lust, fornication. So it's the enemy who have put all these machines before us to show us as debaucherous, evil, sin, and lustful people, only to point the finger and say, look at the crime, look at the lust, and our God know it. Now, it doesn't excuse us for our activity. When we're wrong, we know we're wrong. But it doesn't change the fact that these people are working behind closed doors every day to push sin, destruction, and disease on a holy people who are God's people. Right? And this is why God says he's long suffering. He's like, you know what? Man, if it wasn't for my people, I would just wipe them out. But my people, they're buried in sin. If I take them out, then all those that they've influenced are going to die. So the Most High is leaving space for repentance. Right? So it says here, let's go back to the long suffering. The Most High has been long suffering. Read.
Yes, sir. Verse 2. For it shall come to pass at that time that thou shalt see, and the many that are with thee, the long suffering of the Most High, which has been throughout all generations, who has been long suffering towards all who are born, alike those who sin and those who are righteous. And I answered and said, But behold, O Lord, no one knows the number of those things which have passed, nor yet of those things which are to come. For I know indeed that which has befallen us, but what will happen to our enemies I know not, and when thou wilt visit thy works.
So Ezra's want to know. Give me some insight of the judgment. What will happen to the enemies who are attacking us, who have always destroyed us? And that's including the unseen enemies. Right? And that's why in the academy we're going into breaking down the spiritual realm to understand the spiritual war. Because usually when we see it play out physically, that's the tail end. That's the end of the possession. We're seeing the end work of the demon without understanding its origin. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But what will happen to our enemies, I know not. So Esdras had questions. Read.
25:1. And he answered and said unto me, thou too shalt be preserved till that time, till that sign which the Most High will work for the inhabitants of the earth in the end of days. This therefore shall be the sign. When a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth, and they shall fall into many tribulations, and again, when they shall fall into great torments.
So he says, at the end of time, the earth will fall into a stupor. Okay, that's twofold. You got a stupor where people are walking without common sense. Right? And that happened predominantly during the time you started seeing where people were losing their mind, wasn't making sense during the time. And the perfect example of a stupor would have a guy who can't even walk a straight line as president of the United States a couple of years ago with the last administration. That was a sign to the earth that there was no common sense leadership over the earth. People started losing their minds. They were in cars with masks on. Lawya. By themselves. With the windows rolled up. So who are you trying to protect yourself from? Yourself? And that's the clear example. Everybody act like they know what time it is. And they're the smartest people on earth when they're not up against a crisis. But when something go down like that, that shows you just how much people, just how much the world lacks common sense. The whole world was faking. I'm down with God. I have faith. I got this relationship. People lost common sense. I seen a picture of a woman, a black woman, went into Walmart. Her whole body was wrapped with saran wrap, and she was breathing through the two holes she poked for her nostrils. Huh? And guess what? And the stupor isn't race specific. I've seen Karens out there losing their minds. You had white women out there in the supermarkets, and they had rulers with them to make sure people weren't 6 feet in proximity. Folks, I'm not making this up. You had people putting their own families out of their house. Brothers and sisters, you had people putting people out of their own house. Children and all that. Number one, if they went outside, they had to stay outside, or to get locked in the house with their family. And that was ridiculous because there was one family, they all locked in, no one went anywhere, and the whole house got COVID. And here it is. I'm riding around, Elder Lawya, enjoying God's green earth. Coming back to report to everyone, outside is still outside. One of the greatest psyops in world history. You had people divorcing their own husbands or wives because they decided they didn't want to have a medical procedure, being forced to take something medical, not knowing whether or not that it's going to, that they'll fare good on the other side of it. If something happens, you had adverse effects, you die, well, oh well. It's emergency, so there's certain things we had to rush. We didn't realize it. We'll see you in the resurrection, okay? People lost their minds. So this is why we were able to tell people ahead of time what's going to happen. This was a sign he told Esdras thousands of years ago, that the first thing in the last days that we need to look for is a stupor in the earth. That means the whole earth has lost common sense. What is a stupor? Look at this.
Stupor.
A state of reduced sensibility or consciousness. Look at that. Now imagine if you wrap this up as in a cocktail where people don't have common sense, and then they get propagandized through emotions to believe that somebody is after them, their people, killing their people, and now they have no recourse but to react against a specific race. You're already out of your mind. Right? Great diminution or suspension of sensibility. Anytime something goes down, and these Satanists can convince you to separate yourself from your family. You don't know who these foreigners are coming from over Eastern Europe, and they're experimenting on your mom or dad and your grandfather, and they calling you telling, yeah, matter of fact, we'll tell you what's going on with your family, and if you go near your grandmom, you're going to die. Because you know what they're saying? If people can turn against their own family and have no sensibility, we can now use the population to turn on itself. If you can turn on your family over a vaccine or over this or over that, because a stranger told you to, now they can go along with the next stage in the propaganda because you lost all sensibility. See that? Suppression of sense of feeling, lethargy. And then there's the stupor sickness. Let's see what the sickness symptoms are. Let's see what the symptoms are for a stupor sickness. Let's see if God told the prophets years ago what they were going to do. Stupor. Let's see some of the side effects of a stupor. Heart rate. Remember that? You seen out of nowhere myocarditis? Myocarditis, respiration issues, can't breathe. I can't breathe. Many people, after they listened to what they was telling them, their blood pressures went crazy. Blood sugar levels sound like everything that they claim our people have. Isn't that something that the side effects was in the same stuff under a medical stupor. Huh? That's why we told you. The same way in the past, the Most High always revealed information and have prophets, teachers to warn the people. It was in the Book of Baruch, thousands of years before there was any such man as Biden, as Donald Trump. So we're going to tell you, we told you back then what it was, and we're going to show you how to get through it, and we're going to show you what's about to happen with the current propaganda. Right? When a stupor, Elder Lawya, go on.
When a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth, and they shall fall into many tribulations, and again when they shall fall into great torments. And it shall come to pass when they say in their thoughts, by reason of their much tribulation, the mighty one doth no longer remember the earth. Yea, it will come to pass when they abandon hope, that the time will then awaken.
When the people begin in earth in large numbers, when people start not believing in God or their faith is broken concerning a God they once believed in, that's when the time of the end will awaken. The Most High at that point will get the angels, Christ, get the angels ready. It's about to go down soon. The Satanist has taken control of the minds of this world. The Satanists control the United States through a lobby company called AIPAC. And through this financing throughout the world, it's chaos, destruction, unbelief. They fund everything anti-God, all of that. When you see the legislation for trans and all this other stuff, it's the same people backing it and financing it. So the Most High say, when the world get to a height of unbelief, we send our children to school, to college and all that, and they get indoctrinated into Satanist thinking, anti-God thinking. The time shall awake. Read.
26 and 1.
I'm in 2nd Baruch here. Read.
Yes, sir. 2nd Baruch 26 and 1. And I answered and said, will that tribulation which is to be continue a long time? And will that necessity embrace many years?
Come on.
27 and 1. And he answered and said unto me, into 12 parts is that time divided.
In 12 parts is that time divided. What the Most High is breaking down is the final Jubilee. What we will experience within the last 50 years before judgment. What are we to see? What are we to recognize in prophecy? Read.
Into 12 parts is that time divided, and each one of them is reserved for that which is appointed for it.
Read.
In the first part there shall be the beginning of commotions.
The beginning of commotions. When you see people talking about what? Protesting all over the world. Folks, don't you all know there's government groups that's behind every protest you see? Any place in the world, it's the same people behind them. Stoking the provocation. These are funded provocations because through the commotions, they can now pass the legislation against any population. See that? So it's the DNC or it's the others funding all these commotions and holding signs. They get money for this through their nonprofits and NGOs. Because commotions gives them the optics that the media needs to now bring the complaints up into the legislative branch. So we're breaking it all down for you here, folks. And the Most High told us what to look for. Anytime they want to do something or push something, they must make you believe there's some victim somewhere. That's where your commotions come in at. George Floyd, this, that. That's what it is, folks, because they got legislation that will lead into you buying into the next thing. And through all of it, at the end of all of this, it's the government and the weaponry pointed at you. See? It starts off with commotions. Right? George Floyd, oh my God, don't shoot, hands up, all that stupid crap. Told people don't go out there. And now the billy clubs come out. Boom, boom, getting knots upside your head, bullets, boom, boom, boom. At the end, that's what it is. Instigation so that they can now deal with the provocation. Commotions. Read in the second part.
Yes, sir. Verse 3. And in the second part, there shall be slayings of the great ones.
Slayings of the great ones. Come on.
And in the third part, the fall of many by death.
The fall of many by death. We should have known something where all over the earth, these simple Satanists are on the media giving us a ticker on how many people dying in the earth. If that's not a sign, like, what's up with this? What is this fascination they have with death? There's millions who died here, millions. And you know what it is, a lot of it? I don't believe any of what they say on the news, folks. Because if you accept what they're telling you, then you may end up in being under one of these numbers. See? It's suggestive programming, folks. Satanic Psychology 101. If you believe it, then you'll accept it. And guess what? It works in reverse. If you believe that you have faith in the Most High and you have the power in you to heal, that's really the source that does the healing in your body, folks. When you believe you're going to die, your brain adjusts and you begin to believe and adjust you. And what you will do is you'll begin to prepare your family for your death. See? So when they started talking about these numbers all over the place, many people who was healthy, who didn't care about anything beforehand, who was totally healthy, now all of a sudden they started falling sick, believing the magic or the magic that was coming through your propaganda through your TV. See that? When you don't accept death and you stand in the faith of the Almighty, because the Most High have power over death, that's when you stand in your full power in faith, where no one can shake you. But if you don't believe in the Almighty, brothers and sisters, and you have no faith, let me tell you, you can't stand up against these psyops. Because they do these psyops out there to break your faith. So that you got to trust in somebody. Either you're going to trust in God or you're going to trust in government. The third part, the fall of many by death. Read.
Verse 5. And in the fourth part, the sending of the sword.
In the fourth part, sending of the sword. Oh, yeah. We need the military to come into these particular sanctuary cities to help with crime. These are all the prophecies Christ said, the Most High said to look for, understanding that you're living in what? The end of days. And read.
And in the fifth part, famine and the withholding of rain.
Famine and the withholding of rain. Like we're hearing out there in Gaza right now, where they're stating that what? Where they're stating that they're not letting food in and children are starving. Right? And I'm going to tell you all this, folks. When you see the word Hamas or hear them say Hamas, y'all have to understand the code word. If they blow up some people over there in Gaza, oh no, even though there was 100 kids who had nothing to do with anything, we were attacking Hamas, okay? That's what they'll say. The news headline will say, we just attacked Hamas. But when you go through the rubble, it's dead people that wasn't a part of any organization. So I can only assume that Hamas, that word in of itself, is a cover. See? It's an ambiguous cover for any operation. They just bombed Qatar today. That's not Gaza. But when you see the headlines, they bombed with who? Hamas. Now, this is where it's going to get deep. And remember, I said this during the month of trumpets, 8 p.m. Wednesday, September 10th, so-called 2025. What they're going to say in the future is that during the Biden administration, Hamas was able to allow a lot of their people, their agents, to come into the United States. Now, hold up now. If they came into the United States as illegals, then they have to be in sanctuary cities near our people, right? That's interesting, isn't it? So when our people start getting attacked in the future, is the same titles? We're going to see the same titles in the United States. They just attacked Hamas. Remember, you heard it here first. It used to be Al Qaeda. They used that until they couldn't use it anymore. They tied that up in a bow. Okay. With the media story showing a cartoon of how the military came in and got bin Laden, okay? So now, just remember, you was told that here. So, because what I notice is that every time they attack something overseas, they're not even telling you the people they're attacking. They just tell you Hamas. So Hamas is just a cover for every place they would like to attack and say, well, yeah, some men from Hamas ran into the hospital. So, with human shields. They're using children as human shields. Hey, we got Hamas. So get ready to hear the story of how Hamas made their way into the United States during the Biden administration. Remember, you heard that here. Okay? All right? Hold on, Elder Lawya. Let's get through this real quick, and I have a few videos to show.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Verse 7.
7 is what?
And in the sixth part, earthquakes and terrors.
Earthquakes and terrors. Come on.
Verse 9. And in the eighth part, a multitude of specters and attacks of the Shadim.
Specters and attacks of the Shadim. Most people don't know what this is. Folks, this is the mental health issue. See, back when in the ancient times, they didn't call it mental health. They called it demon possession. So a lot of people that's on these wacky drugs, like the trance drugs and the what they call those drugs for children to so that they could actually change to another sex or something. What do they call those?
Man, what are they?
Gender drugs or whatever. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of these drugs have psychological side effects. Somebody is already dealing with something emotional. If they're in their mind, they want to be the other sex. So obviously there's something there. And then they put the drugs on top of it. And now we're hearing about all these so-called trans people shooting up stuff. See, but it wasn't mental health back in the Bible days. That's how they cleaned up the recognition of demon possession. Okay? When you see a lady and you're looking at her and her whole outside is the aesthetics of a man, okay? What you don't see is the demon on the inside. See? That's specters in the Shadim. And it's like that in the reverse. Because why? That's right, folks. When the fallen angels came down and dealt with people, their children became hermaphrodites, male and female both. And then these spirits, when those spirits died, when the bodies died, at the end of the flood, these spirits became evil spirits in the earth, demons, which were originally the spirit of hermaphrodite, both sexes. So when they get into people, see, back when we were coming up, if a guy said, well, I feel like I'm a woman in a man's body, Christ, the disciples, and the prophets recognized that it was an ancient spirit pre-flood that have taken the person. See? Only the Bible can give answers to all of this. Hence the reason why they don't want you reading it. See? So when it says the attacks of the specters in Shadim, it's coming out even more under the LBGTQ, because under this organization, they are hiding what? Demon possession. They're harboring and promoting the spirit of demons. See that? Specters in the attacks of the Shadim. Demon possession. That's why they're pushing drugs everywhere. Who's going to take something and then it tell you with the side effect that you get suicidal thoughts? But if you don't care about living yourself, you darn sure don't care about, a thought coming in where you may shoot or stab another person. I need you to think about this. Why would you give out drugs with the side effects where you're sitting there in your house by yourself thinking about killing yourself and there's innocent people around you? How is that legal that they will allow that drug to be passed and given to people for any reason? Because these are the sorcerers and demons and the magies in control. See? They're turning the world, the citizenry of the world against itself. Nation against nation. Read in the 9th part.
Yes, sir. Verse 10. And in the 9th part, the fall of fire.
In the 9th part, Elder Lawya, the fall of fire. Now, speaking of fire, right? They always, Elder Lawya, they always like to put the label crime on our people, which is garbage. Make us the face of crime. Oh, yeah, looking at these felonious, these fake numbers. Oh, yeah, based on per capita, you're 13% of the population, and you commit 50% of the crime.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a bold-faced lie, because they put in arrests, not incarcerations, under these felonious numbers. Well, they can arrest us for anything. You can be arrested for anything. They'll let you out the next day, and they'll put that under crime. But yet, we could never do the level of criminality compared to them. Fall of fire. Check out this Satanist. I've been telling y'all for a long time, we need to look into these fires, because every time these fires happen, they blame it on global warming. Well, maybe we can identify real quick, Elder Lawya, global warming real quick. There was this white, tatted up, Satanist-looking guy, probably from a witch coven. You know, he was a demonut, who was caught in L.A. And they want to put the label of crime on us, right? Check this out, brothers and sisters, when it says fall of fire. These Satanists are doing it all. When there's calm and peace, they're causing more issues. Fair use for educational purposes only.
What the fuck?
Fair use.
This dude just started the fucking fire.
Fair use.
You started that fire.
There's a fire.
Because they don't think.
See, this is why they don't like Jake. See? Because this guy knows he's not going to get away with Jake standing there. Now, Elder Lawya, the black man is the face of crime, right?
Is that? Hey, this guy
Right.
just set that fire.
You started that fire?
Now, look at this nut job. This satanic weasel right here. Now, they got all these nice homes on the hill. This nut job right here starts a fire, and then we'll hear 3 days later, all of these areas are burned down, and they'll claim it's global warming. Y'all looking at global warming right here. They want to call us criminals. How many animals die because of people like this? And how many people die because of people like this? But you know what? You'll never find this nut job in any of their special crime numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And see, who's stopping crime right here, folks?
You just came from over there. We just saw you.
You're right.
Oh.
And
And I'm going to show you this brother right here. Here's the crime stopper right here. Jake is sitting there saying, well, look, my brother, you ain't going nowhere. Now, of course, Esau have the camera, and you got another white guy that's jumped off his bike, and he got his cell phone calling the cops. But they would dare to do what Jake is doing right here. This is their problem right here. The crime stopper. Uh-huh. So the next time they talk about we're the face of crime, make sure y'all pull up this video and wonder how many people this guy have killed. How many cups of blood he have drinking of sacrificed children. Huh?
you have the warrant for the murder, right? I don't care what you do. So
These are houses, spreads. What the fuck? You need to be
Oh, yeah, you know you got Karen. Karen gonna always come out and throw a little, no pun intended, gas on the fire.
Mm-hmm.
hospitalized. You are going to be fine and hospitalized.
Wow, never a dull moment in LA. And the fire is spreading, and we need to get off this mountain.
Now look at all the houses up here, folks. You talking about people minding their business living up here. And they want to try to claim we're the face of crime.
Damn it. Oh, let me
Look
get
at
out
this.
the way. Get out the way.
Now, and I also showed right after the Maui fires how they found what they call undocumented migrants starting fire. The demo nuts was allegedly paying them to go out and start fires as a form of protest. These people are crazy. If Trump was really trying to come against crime, he would go to every witch coven and every demo nut gathering and go find an island for them to live on by themselves. He would round them up. None of our people are running around just starting fires that's millions upon millions of dollars in damage, but yet we're the face of crime. And look at all what this guy created. Where's Trump at? Look at this.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hey, folks, there's thousands of them. I need y'all to understand Satan's army. There are thousands upon thousands of them, anarchists, let loose everywhere. This is what they do. And you know what CNN and you know what the international news would have said? Another fire. Global warming is kicking in. To get a fire this time of year, even when it's not hot outside, proves that the earth is warming.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the ninth part, the fall of fire. Read.
11. And in the 10th part, rapine and much oppression.
Rapine and much oppression. That comes with what? When you start cutting off people access to make a living. Right? You cut off their access to make a living. You start cutting off their money. So now the governments, the Satanists now are going to start coming down on the poor, making it where there's no jobs. On top of no jobs, guess what? Cutting off the subsidies and all of that. And everything I'm saying has happened under Biden and Trump. Read in the 11th part.
Yes, sir. And in the 11th part, wickedness and unchastity.
At the same time, wickedness and unchastity is going on, right? Wickedness and unchastity, where we're living in a society now, none like any other in the world, especially here in the Western world, where young girls can't wait to get 18 so that they can join OnlyFans, which will give them the immediate money to now parlay out of their parents' home, instead of learning how to agree with a man and be a helpmeet to a man so that a man can take care of her. Unchastity. When now I'm an entrepreneur, which what does that mean? Well, my body is my business. See? And that's the part they didn't tell you. When they said my body, my choice, they wasn't just talking about abortion, folks. It's the new entrepreneur. My body, my business. See? Part wickedness and unchastity. Where it'll be hard for a young man or any man to find a virgin girl. All the signs are right here. And instead of fixing the issue and saying something is wrong on that side, where girls grow to be promiscuous and not value their chastity, they'll just shame the other side and just say, well, these guys on the other side without girlfriends are just incels. Right? Instead of pointing to this and saying, no, a society cannot survive if you get the majority of the women who grow up and born in a society, you get them to not care, to be chaste, virtuous, to honor and respect men. Right? To have a focus on being educated when it comes to help meet, to be a wife to a family, Because you can't be a good wife in this society, to a husband and to the corporations too. A woman wasn't made to be able to uphold two. She can either help meet the corporations or the world's expectations, or help meet a man. A woman's education would be to figure out what pleases the man. That was a woman's education. And you know what they taught women? That wasn't good enough. And then when they get beyond the age of education, after they've achieved in life, and that's okay, their relationship skills has atrophied. They don't even know how to talk to a man. They only learned school. They only learned school, and they only learned what? What the corporate boss wanted. And that's good. But what didn't you learn? How to be a wife, a helpmeet, a nurturer. And you just don't pick those skills up. You just don't pick those skills up. You have to learn that. Right? And unchastity. Now, the reason why this more so is not a man's problem here, of course, eventually it destroys the whole community. This falls on usually the woman, because the woman has control over who she gives herself to. See? She has control over that. And in the 12th part, what? Listen to this.
And in the 12th part, confusion from the mingling together of all those things aforesaid.
And that's what's going on right now. People are so confused because we're getting hit with all of these at once. Read, for these parts.
For these parts of that time are reserved and shall be mingled one with another and minister one to another. For some shall leave out of some of their own and receive in it stead from others, and some complete their own and that of others, so that those may not understand who are upon the earth in those days, that this is the consummation of the times.
This is the consummation of the times. People are not going to realize all the confusion is here. Satan is throwing everything at the wall because what? We're living in the end of days, and Satan will soon be judged. So now all the wickedness he's exercised since the beginning is being thrown at the world's populations at once. That's what's going on. So the people are going to be confused because no one can get a break. Every day there's something else new, something else catastrophic, something else that makes you say, man, what has the world come to? But if you're watching and have faith in God, you'll understand this is what he said would happen. It's the end of days, the consummation of times. The world cannot survive the way it is. It's the end. Nevertheless,
28:1. Nevertheless, whosoever understandeth shall then be wise. For the measure and reckoning of that time are 2 parts of a week of 7 weeks.
2 parts a week of 7 weeks. Read.
And I answered and said, it is good for a man to come and behold, but it is better that he should not come lest he fall.
And when it says 2 parts a week for 7 weeks, when you break down the 7-year interval, you have 2 of these particulars that will actually of 2 of the 12 parts that will be magnified above the rest. Like during World War II and all that, it was just about wars and commotion and sending people away. And then the next 7 years, it was about mental health and this, that, and the other, like that. See? The stupor. So every 7 years, 2 are magnified above them all. But at the very end, at the last 7 years, it'll be all of these at once being thrown at the population. And I answered and said, go ahead, Elder. It is good.
Yes, sir. Verse 3. And I answered and said, it is good for a man to come and behold, but it is better that he should not come, lest he fall. But I will say this also, will he who is incorruptible despise those things which are corruptible?
So he said, so here it is, Esdras didn't live to see the times we're living in now, but he says, man, he says, it is good for a man to come and behold. He said, it's good to be able to see the end of the world. So see, Esdras only seen it through what the Most High told him. But he says for us, man, what a blessing. It is good for a man to be here and see it go down, the coming of our Lord and Savior. But he says, man, but it's better that he should not come lest he fall. Even though it would be good for me, that's what Esdras saying, to be there to see this, I don't know if I'll be able to withstand or stand against all that's being thrown at us at once. It's too much coming at us. How will we make it through without falling, with Satan throwing everything at the people at once? Let me tell you, this Baruch book is a bad, man, this is a deep book here. Because he's reasoning rationally here. He's like, man, that's what the end of the world looks like. Because back then it was simple when Baruch was living. To live in a world where you have access to everything at one time and all of that. I mean, that was a little intriguing for the prophets to hear about what would happen with them living the simple lives they lived thousands of years ago. So he's like, man, it's going to be something else in the future, isn't it? He said, man, it's good if a man is there to see this, but I don't know if people can make it through this, right? But I will say this also. Come on.
Yes, sir. Will he who is incorruptible despise those things which are corruptible? And whatever befalls in the case of those things which are corruptible, so that he might look only to those things which are not corruptible. But if, O Lord, those things assuredly shall come to pass, which thou hast foretold to me, so do now show this also unto me, if indeed I have found grace in thy sight. Is it in one place or in one of the parts of the earth that those things are to come to pass? Or will the whole earth experience them?
Or will the whole earth experience them? Right? So some people think that if they're in one area of the earth, that they're going to be okay. But if you're not protected by God, it doesn't matter where you go. Don't matter where you are. See? You can be in the geography where the 12 pillars are, because that's where we'll eventually be. You could be standing there right now waiting for Christ, but if your heart ain't right, you'll die in that very same place. You can be at the end place we have to be right now. But if you ain't right with God, who cares where you are? The whole earth belongs to him. He'll just kill you there. Is it in one place or in one of the parts of the earth that those things are come to pass? Or will the whole earth experience them? Is what Esdras asked. Let's read the 29th. I'm going to end it there.
Yes, sir. 29:1. And he answered and said unto me, whatever will then befall will befall the whole earth. Therefore, all who live will experience them. For at that time I will protect only those who are found in those selfsame days in this land.
In this land. He's going to guide his people through the Spirit of Christ back to where we were, where the 12 pillars are, off the borders of Saudi Arabia. Eventually it's going to happen, but not yet. We have time. What time are we looking for? We're looking for the time when, according to the book of Jeremiah, we're looking for the time when all the Gentile nations that have made America, who have robbed America, not made America, but have robbed America, begin to go back to their own countries. That's going to be the sign. You heard it here first. We have time. Go on, Lawya. And it shall come to pass when it is accomplished.
Yes, sir. Verse 3. And it shall come to pass when all is accomplished that was to come to pass in those parts, that the Messiah shall then begin to be revealed.
Then the Messiah shall then begin to be revealed. So we have some time. Right? I'm keeping my eye specifically between 2026 and especially they have to have everything sold up, the mark of the beast and everything in place by at least 2030. Read it. In Behemoth.
Yes, sir. Verse 4. And Behemoth shall be revealed from his place, and Leviathan shall ascend from the sea.
Behemoth is the earth creature. With all the fires and all that they're creating, like you've seen that nut job burning things up, Behemoth is going to have to find his way into the regular population, and people are going to see these big giants just moving all through the earth. With them poisoning the water, Leviathan is going to come to the shores of the waters. With them poisoning the waters. It's going to happen. Read.
And Behemoth shall be revealed from his place, and Leviathan shall ascend from the sea. Those two great monsters which I created on the fifth day of creation, and shall have kept until that time, and then they shall be for food for all that are left.
And when it says all that are left, it's talking about the nations, because when Christ come back, he's going to destroy these two monsters. And the nations are going to be feeding off that at a time of famine during the 7 years, during the 7-year cleanup of the Gentiles. Now, Elder Lawya, let's go into Trump real quick. We're going to start at Matthew 24, and then we're going to go down the line to show people the propaganda and how to navigate through it. But before that, hold tight. We'll be right back in about a minute and 20 seconds. Hold tight.
The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited.
That's right, Hebrew and Bible Academy, you are invited. A matter of fact, before we jump back in, I would just like to announce that we are in week 2 of your Hebrew and Bible Academy. And yes, the enrollments are open. You don't want to miss The news is none other in the earth. It's like none other in the earth. And what you don't want to miss is the lessons for this academy. And anyone who would tell you that first week of the academy, the creation, it was off the chains. We went into it from the spiritual side of things to show you how the angels work, all of that. But now we're going into revelation, mysteries of the spiritual realm, breaking down the gods who rule this world. Okay? The politicians and all that are a part of a priesthood in the earth that started at the time of Cain. Okay? We're going to break it all the way down. We wrestle not with flesh and blood. All the political positions we see in the earth today are seats that were once held by the fallen ones. That's right, folks. We're going to drop it out. We're going to reveal the true powers of this earth, who we're up against. The origin of the spiritual realm, tracing the serpent's seed, how Lucifer became the chief Satan, Christ, and the key to spiritual warfare. If you don't get in for nothing but this lesson that we're going to put together to show you how to battle warfare against the satanic priesthood of Babylon today, let me tell you, this is a very, very good lesson. The craft, the priesthood of Satan versus the priest of God, AI technology and the mark of the beast. That and more. We're only in week 2, and if you enroll, we'll make sure you receive the 1 week you've missed well before Sunday. Hebrew and Bible Academy, go to historytimes.org. You are invited. Now, jumping right in, Elder Lawya. Let's go to Matthew 24, and I have a bunch of videos to show. Please hit the like button. Everyone out there, you don't want them to miss this particular broadcast. Everything Christ and the disciples, what was shown the disciples, and everything the prophets was shown through the Almighty is going down right now. We're living in some serious prophetic days today, my brothers and sisters, and let's talk about it. Right now, they're stoking race war. That's what they're stoking right now through their propaganda. And again, believe the Bible. If you don't see something happen in front of you, just look at it as you would look at any other movie or television show out there. Okay? Look at it, just see it as a Hollywood production. But what you can ignore is the psychological impact on the people who do believe it. And what will that mean for us? Right? Let's go. Elder Lawya, if you can, let's go to Matthew 24 real quick. Matthew 24.
Yes, sir. Say Matthew 24, verse number 1.
Yes.
And Yeshua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yeshua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
That was talking about what? Jerusalem. It was talking about what? Our temple. That was our temple. Okay? That wasn't Jewish people's temple or white people's temple. A matter of fact, let me show this. Let me show this real quick. Hold on. Let me show this. You can find this on the walls of Rome. They're artifacts at the Vatican. Right? Let me show you. These satanic demons right here. Look at this. Let me show this real quick. Even till this day, brothers and sisters, they have celebrated the destruction of our homeland, Jerusalem. Look at this. Look, that's them robbing the Edomites. Here's the actual artifact that you can find till this day where the Romans, the satanic Romans, celebrated what? Look, let me get it here. They celebrated, let me get it here. Look, taking all the artifacts out of our temple. Here it is right here. So for those who claim the Bible isn't real, Christ isn't real, this is the Romans who carved this into their buildings to celebrate the destruction of the black Christians of Judea. Look, it's right here. Carrying out the menorah and all the artifacts of the temple. Everything Christ said would happen, these devils did it. And now they're on the other side claiming to be the same people they destroyed. You can't make this up. These people have no shame. They destroy us, still destroy us, and then claim to be us and take all sympathy, claiming that we've always been destroyed while destroying us continually, even till this day. So all the people who claim the Bible isn't real, everything Christ said would happen, happened. That's them carried away all of our artifacts and riches out of the temple. That's what Christ was prophesying here. All right, that's exactly what Christ was prophesying. Let me cut my mic down some here, okay? All right, Elder Lawya, let's go back to the scripture here.
Yes, sir. St. Matthew 24:3.
Yeah.
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
What shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? What world? Esau's world. How do we know it's Esau's world? Elder Lawya, if you will, let's go to 2nd Esdras 6 out of the Apocrypha 8, verse 9.
Yes,
Anyone who tell you that Esau, the European, is Japheth, they're unlearned. Okay? They're unlearned. All you have to ask him, show me where the Bible says that Japheth will be ruling in the end of the world. And where's Esau then? If the white man is Japheth, where's Esau? Utterly ridiculous. Even the Jewish people will tell you in the Jewish encyclopedia that Edom is Rome. 2nd Esdras 6, 8 and 9. Let's read it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. 2nd Esdras 6 and 8.
Yeah.
And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau.
Go on.
For Esau is the end of the world.
Esau is what?
For Esau is the end of the world.
For Esau is the end of the world. Read.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
And we are next. That's why anything that they do, at the end of the day, it's our people getting attacked. So whatever propaganda they put out there, at the end of it, it gives them what? The moral high ground to attack us like they did in 70 AD. Esau is the end of the world. So now we understand the precept. Let's now go back, Elder, to Matthew, the 24th chapter.
Yes, sir. Matthew 24 and verse number 3.
Let's read
and
it.
As he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
The end of the world. Who's the end of the world? Esau will be ruling in the end of the world. See how you use those precepts? That's why Herod wanted to kill Christ. Because he was prophesied, the sages gave him the insight of the child who would one day, what? Rule the kingdom from earth after destroying the Roman Empire. That's why Herod wanted the black child dead. And the end of the world. So they ask. Read.
Yes, sir. Verse 4. And Yeshua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
We know those are pagan Christians who hijack Christ's word, but still celebrate the same Babylonian holidays Christ was against. Sunday worship, Easter, and Christmas. All these are pagan days that have nothing to do with God or Christ or the Bible. 6.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled.
And what did Christ say, brothers and sisters? Be not troubled. Because they play on your what? Your fear. Your fear. Read.
For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
But the end is not yet. Come on.
For nation shall rise against nation,
race
and kingdom
against race. All these things Christ is prophesying is Satan stoking the fire. He's the one behind it, him and his spirits that he rules. It's stoking all these agitations that Christ is actually talking about right here. See? Race against race, like the media be stoking. Read.
And kingdom against kingdom.
Kingdom against kingdom. Read.
And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
Almost the same thing we read from Baruch. The 8th verse.
All these are the beginning of sorrows.
And it's just the beginning of what we'll have to go through. Read on.
Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you.
Look at that. Read.
And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
For following Christ, because that's really what it comes down to. The enemies who don't believe in Christ are seeking to destroy any spirit in the earth, especially an Israelite who believe in Christ. Because why? According to their prophecies, they know that eventually Christ will give the rulership and power to those who believe in him to judge the satanic rulers of this earth. So at the end of the day, this is why they attack us, because we don't have any arsenal. We don't have any military. We're poor. So why are they attacking us, folks? Why do they continually instigate us into these racial provocations? We don't have any army against them. We don't have any money. We don't have anything. They understand the future prophecy of our children. They're trying to get in front of that by destroy. And again, we're the only people in earth that's keeping the true belief in Christ alive. The whole world then turned to atheism. The majority of the world have become Buddhists. They went back to old Asian ideologies, which is ancient Babylon. We're the only people in the earth who still truly believe in Christ. Read the 10th verse.
10. And then shall many be offended.
Hold up now. Let's look at this. Living in what? The politically correct world today, where you cannot say everybody is oversensitive now. Where anything you say to correct someone, they become offended. See? That's the stupor. That's the stupor. No one can be corrected anymore. Or they'll find a reason to be offended because what? Because they hate you. Even if they don't know why they truly hate you, but they truly hate you because the spirit in them can't appreciate or can't stand the spirit of Christ in you. See? They shall be offended and shall what?
And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another.
Betray one another. Yeah, I'm a brother. I'm a sister. And then they'll turn your enemy. Like, hold up, did the brother sister do anything to you? Well, no, it's because of something happened over there. Because I stand for the brotherhood, you know? I stand for what's right. No, nah. Liar. Shall betray one another and shall hate one another. Read.
And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many.
And many false prophets shall rise and deceive many. Read.
And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
And because iniquity is abound, that goes right back to the unchastity, the love of many shall wax cold. That means there'll be, when you come down to it, there'll be no family to protect you because everyone is divorced and divided. No love anywhere. And now the armies can come in without resistance because if you don't have a family, then you don't have an inclination to protect anything. But what?
But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
Those that can navigate through this will be saved. But this is where the gathering of Christ Church comes in at. Read the 14th verse.
And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
Because this is what they're trying to stop. That's why they got censorship and everything else. But we will, through the Spirit of the Almighty, spread this gospel that haven't been taught in the earth. The true gospel before the Gentiles came in to destroy our temple. And when that happens, the end shall come. And it's going to happen because Christ said it would. He said this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world. So it's our position to do so. See? Now, Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's go here real quick. And let's go to Trump. Fair use for educational purposes only. Race against race. Now they're on what? They're on the instigation that leads to provocation. They tried to get us out there to march, and our people said, no, we sat on our hands. We're not marching for no immigration or nothing else. They tried to claim that this was our cause. And you've seen all those marches, all those protests went to dirt. Because without our spirit, it's nothing. Right? So now Trump deployed the army in all these areas where the so-called sanctuary cities were. So check him out. Fair use.
For far too long, Americans have been forced to put up with Democrat-run cities that set loose savage, bloodthirsty criminals to prey on innocent people, really very, very innocent people. In every place, they control radical left judges, politicians, and activists, and they've adopted a policy of catch and release for thugs and killers. In Charlotte, North Carolina, we saw the results of these policies when a 23-year-old woman who came here from Ukraine met her bloody end on a public train. And here's a picture of it. This is the picture of it. And this is a picture of the woman, a beautiful young girl that
All right, now look at the face of crime now. I told y'all years ago when they were letting people in, if foreigners are used, then there's no way to check on any of this. But it's the old optic. The bad black guy has harmed the innocent white woman. Now, I'm not going to say whether or not what this is, but I'll say this. What is in the mind of white men who believe exactly what the media is stoking here? And what does that mean for our people who may be wandering, walking down the street in certain areas, different times of night? What do you think going to happen? So since they couldn't instigate us into a provocation, they have now began to stoke the other side, knowing that there will be some white people, some white men who are incels, who's just been waiting for the cue to come against black men now that a lot of their rates are low when it comes to birth rates, and all their daughters now are now coming after and want to be with black men. Now, I subscribe that everyone should be with their own race, but you can't control what a grown person does. But at the end of the day, what happens is, when it comes to culture, our people influence everything, and a lot of their women now are coming after the black affluent men. So what do? A war started in Ukraine, which allowed all of their young women to come into the United States so that they can marry women to continue their birth rates. So a lot of the white men who have given up on the feminist white women that they have allowed to become feminist enemies in the United States, the only saving grace to continue their bloodline were these Ukrainian women, these young girls who was coming over here. Now check out how they framed this, because white men are looking at these Ukrainians for the sake of their lineage survival. See this? You see this, Lawya?
Yes, sir.
These white men have given up hope. You can't find no virtuous white woman coming out of these colleges anymore, and they're divorcing their men. Everything black men are experiencing in the United States, white men are experiencing it too. So the only hope these white men had were the Ukrainian women who's used to being amongst their own people, who would come over here and be glad to get citizenship and have their children.
Mm-hmm.
So I need y'all to examine the mind of a white man who's been waiting for a story like this. And what does that mean? They've lit the fire on the other side, and white men don't protest like black people.
Right.
To be a fly on the wall at a KKK meeting right now, I'll tell you right now, or some hillbilly that you know, who's really, he's not put together, he's not wrapped too tight anyway. This is a straight instigation here. Y'all can't see this? But here's a point. They had to use outsiders, because I'm also going to examine, where did this guy come from? Because they could put names on anybody. Could they be using two foreigners who came over so they can pass laws to come against us in the inner cities? That's just a question. Right? Now, if you got to do this, that means there's not much crime going on amongst the regular population within the country. If you got to bring in foreigners to get a story like this, they're not naturally getting the crime stories they would normally get. Need y'all to think about that, folks. I'm going to say it again. Think about it. If you need to use foreigners, then crime isn't what you claim it was before Biden and the demo nuts started letting all of these so-called undocumented people in the United States. Right? Let's go to the next one. Fair use.
To a big update now to a story we've been following here at home. The suspect accused of stabbing a Ukrainian refugee on a North Carolina commuter train is now facing federal charges. In just the last hour or so, you heard DOJ officials calling this a terroristic act. And
there it goes. Elder Lawya, what did I say on the streets of Philadelphia before you two? Right? I said that what? Matter of fact, Elder Lawya, you can if you can remember what was said. What did I tell the people on this 2009 on the streets of Philadelphia? Right? Path to the mark.
Yes, sir.
What
yes,
did
sir.
I tell
Path to the mark. Yeah. The overall message was that the face of terrorism would eventually change from the Middle East or Middle Easterners to black people, black men, black women.
There it is right there. I said, don't believe the Al-Qaeda garbage because the laws that they are putting in place is for Americans.
Mm-hmm.
If these are foreigners who did the attack on September 11th, 9/11, why would you pass laws that will affect citizens in the United States? That doesn't make, when it comes to religious extremism. These people went back to their countries. I'm like, oh, religious extremism. They don't like the fact that black Christians and many Christians are leaving the church because they know the truth now, that we are the Israelites. And our people know that we were the people that fell in Jerusalem. So they knew that we would begin to teach this throughout the earth, starting on the corners and all these others, and said, we're going to have to put something on the books that will make religion illegal. Because the only religion that they can't control per se, if you want to put religion in that in that bubble there, the only religion they can't control are those who are Israelites. The Zionists and Jesuits, they control Christianity. They also have a hand in the Arabs that come over here that deal with Muslims. They got a hand in all that because these Muslims are anti-Christ. See? So they got control over there too, because if the Arabs don't do what they want to do, they can hold their what? Citizenship over them. See? It was never about the Arabs. And I said in 2009, I said every law they're passing is to come against the awakening of the children of Israel in America, because this is a sign to them. Now that Judah has awakened, Judah is going to tell the whole earth the truth. So what you see with terrorism, they're going to use the media to switch the narrative to black people being the face of terrorism. Folks, I said this on the street before there was a YouTube. It was called Path to the Mark. And look at this. Real time is happening. Everything the Most High showed us is happening.
officials calling this a terroristic act. And because these are federal charges, this means the suspect could be eligible for the death penalty.
Now, how is this a terroristic act? It's heinous. It's bad if it is what they're saying it is. But isn't there laws on the books for some nut job who would just harm an innocent person?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, people get stabbed every day. There's
Man,
no new laws or new coverage based on every little stabbing that happens.
Man, Elder Lawya, this is Esau and I say so. If that's the case, you know how many terrorist acts I've seen living up in North Philly, growing up there? Every time there was a card game, somebody pulled out a switchblade.
Right.
I'm talking about cut. My Uncle Joe was good. You hear something snap, he always talking about cutting somebody, my Uncle Joe. I'm like, what? You can't be having no terroristic activities up in here.
Which that even in itself, Lawya, that even in itself is an old trope. When you go back to some of the old stereotypes of Jake, especially Judah in the U.S., you know, one of the tropes was that we carry switchblades and we just like cutting each other. And, you know, so even that whole thing is a part of the whole stereotype of black people and
I'm gonna
their
tell
weapon
you,
of choice.
That's a trope, but I'm going to tell you, My Uncle Joe kept the switchblade. All right, I'm gonna tell you that right.
I mean, yeah, usually with a trope, there's a little bit of truth to it, you know.
I mean, it wasn't as extreme as it was. You know, we were from down south. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. Every card game, like, yo, keep the Jack one's vodka away from Uncle Joe. Okay, somebody gonna get cut tonight. But I'll tell you this: it wasn't a terrorist act.
Exactly.
So now, a regular old, you know, boom. Now they done switched a stabbing into a terrorist act.
Exactly.
Right? I show you how they do it.
And one thing.
Okay. I'll wait, Lawyer. I'll wait. Go ahead.
Yes, Lawya, sir. I did get a report. You got Deacon Derek in North Carolina.
Yeah.
There's a sister in his body that actually works and drives, I believe, either the bus or the train for that company. And she did mention that she saw the young lady a few days before the thing happened. So
okay.
You know,
yeah.
So that's out there as well. But
oh yeah, but listen, I'm not. What I'm saying is, if what they saying is what happens, you know what I mean. And this guy's a criminal. The Bible says, "Thou shalt not kill."
Exactly.
So
exactly.
So at the end of the day, if this is what this guy did, he need to deal with every part of the law concerning a person who would kill an innocent person for nothing. But this shouldn't be an indictment on every brother or sister now.
Exactly.
This shouldn't be an indictment. And all due respect, and this is listen, a brother, I just showed a video of of a guy who just threw a sister off an overpass after dealing with her and killing her and all that. And I don't see no one calling what just happened to her a terrorist act.
Exactly.
So if this guy did what's being shown right here, I'll tell you what, there's laws on the books for random murderers, but we need to look into everything.
Exactly.
We need to look into everything. And one thing, Elder Lawyer, we need to look into is this. Didn't I say that there will be, when people took that stuff during the lockdowns, I said that there will be unexplained aggression out of nowhere? Remember, I said that too, right? I've said there's going to be a lot of people are going to be triggered in a lot. Who knows? Because who knows if that spike stuff isn't an antenna? And I talked about it, where people are hearing things and are acting out what's coming through their minds. And you would never guessed what someone said me. Who is DeCarlos Brown Jr.? Man accused of killing a Ukrainian refugee on the train.
Yep.
Let me read it. A 34-year-old man with long criminal record has been arrested on charges of murdering 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee. DeCarlos Brown Jr. stabbed Irina Zarutska on a light rail train in Charlotte, North Carolina, who fled to, it says, Zarutska, who fled the war in Ukraine, was stabbed several times. Boom. Right? Look what it says here. Right? It says here that he was hearing voices and it told him to do it. Right? Let me get it. Let me get it. And guess what? If it's a death penalty, he get the death penalty. But it's saying that this guy said that for a long time he was hearing voices. Was he on some psychotropics? What doctor care was he under? Right? What doctor's care was he under? Because there's a lot of MK Ultra perfected now in this world. Right? Because we have to make sure other people aren't triggered with what? Mental illness. Was he ever committed for mental illness? The attacks of the specters and the shadim. But no one want to look into that. Was he on medication that had the side effects of suicidal thoughts? You sent something to me, Elder?
Yes, sir. This is also from Deacon Derek. He sent me that as you're speaking. He sent me this early. I'm not sure if you'll be able to play it, but if you can, I'll just pretty much put it in a nutshell what the guy was saying.
Okay, I'll be able to play it. Let me get it here. Lawya. Let's get it here.
And this is just looking at everything from all angles. With these situations, there's always multi-layered. There's always a different perspective to look at it, but just looking at it from the different angles based on what's out there thus far. Obviously, as time goes by, you'll start to see.
Yeah.
Exactly. You'll start to peel back layers and see what's what, who's who, and what's real and what's not.
Yeah, like the news continually say, the story is still developing. Right.
Exactly.
Let's see here. I see the audio going up and down, but for some reason there's no audio playing.
There may be a little mute, a little audio mute.
Oh, there it is.
Maybe you see it?
There it is. I got it.
So I'm just trying to understand.
All right.
So you said something in your body did what?
Nah, the material, put it like this, the material using my body to stab the lady.
It says the material used my body to stab the lady. No one is looking into this? Listen to this.
So you said something in your body did what?
Nah, the material, put it like this, the material using my body to stab the lady.
The material used my body to stab the lady. So no one is going to look into none of this. They're just going to say that, that this is just an example of the crime we're up against in these inner cities. Let me finish.
Right.
And so she just got stabbed.
Yeah. You know that's not me. I'm talking about just for no reason. But since they did that, now they got to investigate the material my body is exposed to. Since they want to do all that, now they got to investigate.
He says, since they did all that, they got to investigate the material in my body. Elder Lawya, when the mark of the beast is instituted, just say if something they put in people's body, are they going to be able to trigger people as sentinels against their own will? Now, outside of this, right? Is there some type of test going on also that we need to be aware of?
Right.
Because I want to get to the bottom of this, because we don't need no people just running around willy-nilly stabbing people.
Right.
Right? But this is interesting. I thank the brother for sending that. But it still feeds into the narrative, right? It feeds into the narrative now of the black crime thing. They needed something like this.
Exactly.
So brothers and sisters, you're going to have to be very careful out there. All that meeting people on app stuff, all that out there walking alone at night thinking you're safe. I'm going to tell you that right now, because you're going to have a lot of these white guys on the hunt. Straight up. Straight up. Okay. What else we have here? Here's another one out of nowhere. Right? Here's another one, Elder. Now, this guy is from Kenya.
In Plymouth. It's the home of a convicted sex offender and former director at the Minnesota Department of Education, who Alpha News exposed in June, sparking an online firestorm over the state's hiring practices. Wilson Tindy, a Kenyan national, was convicted of sexually assaulting a sleeping woman in the Twin Cities.
Sexually assaulting a sleeping woman in the Twin City. Here go your black crime, Elder Lawya. See this? And they said that he was let in under Biden, under a sanctuary city. Now, what we're witnessing here, brothers and sisters, is a cataclysm. It's a cataclysm of culture. Where he come from, it could be naturally normal for him to do what he just did over in the Twin City. See this? If our people in America was criminals in all of this, right? They wouldn't need all these stories with all these people who've just been let in for a few years to stoke the racial fire. If we were truly the criminals they claim they are, but you know what they're going to do? They're going to put this under black crime so that when people see us, when they see this image, they'll think that one of our children did this. When our children are educated, our children are good, they follow the Most High. See, there wasn't enough crime in America for them to actually deal with the provocation they wanted. So they let all these people in who they know have different laws in their country when it comes to dealing with little girls and all that. You know, when you go into different parts of Africa, look how Angelina Jolie, for a few dollars, they'll come back with a black kid. Okay? They'll just come back with a black kid. Go to Kenya, go to somewhere, they'll come right back with a black kid. So you pull this guy out of his element, the Democrats allowed him into the United States next to our people. What would you expect? They knew what he would do. So now here's the face of crime. They're finding every story they can to stoke this race war, folks.
Was exposed in June, sparking an online firestorm over the state's hiring practices. Wilson Tindy, a Kenyan national, was convicted of sexually assaulting a sleeping woman in the Twin Cities after breaking into her home. Tindy pled guilty to the crime 9 years ago. A judge ordered his removal from the United States. But a federal judge ultimately ruled that Tindy's removal was not warranted. Tindy spent 18 months in ICE custody and then landed taxpayer-funded positions at 2 separate Minnesota state agencies.
Look at that. The government hired him to work in their agencies, folks.
After our reports, Tindy's status has changed.
We really have to go through, work with our legal team to make sure that the conviction would qualify for, removability from the U.S. So it did take us kind of a long time and a lot of...
I'm showing y'all something, folks. This is why they let all the people in. So now they can get the narratives they wouldn't have gotten normally, just waiting for some crime to happen in our neighborhoods. Now they can feed the propaganda for the next stage in their engagement, Are y'all following me here? Are y'all following me here? In the meantime, we got nut jobs like this running around.
What the fuck?
Fair use. This dude setting California on fire.
You started that fire.
There's a fire.
Because they don't think it's that. Hey, this guy just set that fire.
He started that fire.
Look at this guy.
He just came from over there. We just saw
He's
him.
like he been hanging out with the Gates family.
You have the warrant for the murder, right? I don't care what you do.
These are houses, friends.
The attacks of the specters in Shadeen, the stupor, everything at once.
What the fuck?
And Karen ain't having it either. Fair use. Come on, watch your mouth.
Wow, never a dull moment in LA. And the fire
this guy
spreading.
just started a fire.
We need to get off this mountain. Damn it. Oh, let me get out the way. Get out the way.
Jake just slowed everything up. Now, Elder, I wonder if they're going to charge this white guy with a terroristic act. It's arson.
Thank you, Scotty.
Right. Well, they get the same media coverage nationally, all over the news. Same way this other thing got internet or national coverage.
Yeah, will it have the same media coverage? Look at this nut. How many people he killed? Setting fires all in California. And I think we just discovered. Check his wallet. I think his name is global warming. Right? Now, how do we navigate through this? Now we understand the media under their weapons of mass destruction propaganda all day, all night, crime, 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 black people is crime. How do we navigate through this now? Right? I mentioned this last night. Brothers and sisters, at the end of the atonement, that we're walking through the valley of the shadow of death. This is how we need to operate, Elder Lawya, if you can, because they are stoking this race thing right now. If you can, let's go to Matthew. We was in Matthew, 5 yesterday?
Yes, sir. Matthew 5 and 25.
Okay, Matthew 5. And Matthew 5, verse 25. Listen to this.
Agree with thine adversary quickly.
Agree with thine adversary quickly. The closer we get to Christ's coming, the more military and police activity, that's right, will happen. We'll be engaged in more military activity. When I was overseas, they adjusted the population to see what? Armed military just standing and walking in their malls. Okay? Understand this, folks. We are about to experience the same thing throughout the world. If there's a situation, if a police or somebody ask you a question, make sure you agree with thine adversary, agree with them quickly. Agree with them quickly. Another thing, make sure you have your identification on you at all times. Right? At all times. You slip up and don't have your ID. Right? I need y'all to think about this for a second. How do they know that you didn't slip in with the Kenyan rapist? How do they know? I mean, you look suspicious. See? So when they look at this guy, right, now it's mistaken identity, and you're up somewhere in a Venezuelan prison somewhere. Make sure you have your identification on you. Like, hold up, I'm American. Listen, you look just like this guy, okay? So, and it's showing ICE going around, and believe it or not, they showing him, but the laws are on the books against us. See? They're using this as a cause of provocation to engage our people when they didn't have no reason to do it otherwise. There wasn't enough crime going on amongst our people, so they let the immigrants in so that now they can have plausible deniability while coming after the target. Okay? Have your identification with you. Okay? Have your identification with you. And it says, agree with your adversary quickly while thou art in the way. Read.
Lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison.
He says, because if you don't agree, you argue. Hold up, I'm an American citizen. I know my rights. Folks, it's a different conversation when you're speaking to the military. And understand that the commander-in-chief also has deputized many of the white civilians who now feel that they need to get in front of this criminality. This is the commander-in-chief over the military. So when you deploy the military, folks, that's breaking the posse comitatus. And through the posse comitatus, you're not supposed to what? You're not supposed to police the people using a standard military. So now understand we're in a different time where they're catching America up with the military presence that we see throughout the third world. They're catching America up with it now. Every other place is used to just people running around with military, like the brothers from IUIC that was over in Africa. Where were they over in Africa when them smoke bombs came out, Elder?
I forget which
country?
Yeah.
But they didn't realize they was in another territory. You can't go into these other countries because this ain't no regular police running around. Right? They'll smoke bomb you. They'll shoot you, all types of stuff. Well, understand, America is catching up military-wise with the third world. It's the militarization of the United States. Right? That's what's going on here. Okay? Let's go back and then we'll open up the lines. And we'll talk about what to look forward to with tabernacles, actually.
Yes, sir. Verse 26, verily I say unto thee, thou shalt by no means come out thence till thou hast paid the uttermost farthing.
Verily I say unto you that thou shalt by no means come out thence. That means you get thrown in prison, and you will not come out unless you pay the highest bail according to Christ. Now, there will be some criminality out there that will justify the military being there. But if you follow the law of God, follow Christ, you shouldn't have to worry, and you can navigate through it. If you are engaged with the police or officials, agree with them. Okay? Do not be what? Resistant with them or combative with them. We're living in a different time. They could care less about your rights. Okay? Because right now, they're being triggered, and they're triggering these white men to act on a war path. That's what this is about. Okay? And it's just the way it is. Some people would say, well, why didn't they act like this when the sister got killed? You got the military guy who put slugs all into a sister a couple of weeks ago. He was married to a couple of months ago, and it was a non-story. Well, here's the reality of it. It's a definite double standard. But right now, this is the target, and we must operate accordingly. It doesn't matter what we feel, how one might think that it's unjust, but that's what it is. Okay, there's some white guys out there in some of these hillbilly areas getting nooses together right now, probably. So just be careful out there. Elder Lawya, what say you? Anything?
No, sir. No, sir. We can go straight to the calls.
Let's go straight to the calls. And yes, this weekend begins Tabernacle. Under this current climate, let's understand if we're out amongst our family. I know that the angels will camp round about us as we dealing with the booths. Tabernacles, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a beautiful time for the men, women, and children. Food, we're going to be out there camping all over the earth for the week in respect of our tabernacle in the 7th month. It's in the Bible, Leviticus 23. And I know a lot of you out there are looking forward to coming out and camping a full week outside of our abodes. We'll be back next week. We start Friday sundown and it ends Saturday sundown. Okay, some people are going to stay out there until Sunday, but it's fine. But it's going to be a beautiful thing, and I hope I hope the Most High bring the church closer as we come closer to the end in preparation for the last tabernacle when God's people are in the wilderness together. So I'm hoping this can bring us together. We're going to have study sessions. We're going to have a lot of food. We're going to have a lot of fun, right? We have a few games there. I might bring my big Monopoly board with me one of these days within the week, and we'll sit down and just enjoy each other while there's time. And it's good to have, Elder Lawya, some good moments through this Babylonian trouble. And I believe Tabernacle will be one of those.
Gone.
Right? Someone says, Candace says, it's my first one. I'm going to tell you, you're going to enjoy it. But in the midst of it, we're going to have videos during the week talking to our people. We'll still have Patreon certain times. I'm going to do some extra Patreon since we're going to be out and about and we can't do anything anyway. So Patreon, some extra YouTube videos to share into the camping with us. It's going to be an exciting weekend, an exciting week. So the Most High took the 7th month seriously. It kicks off with trumpet. You know, that's the holy day where the Most High would do what? They would blow the trumpet for 10 days. I mean, up to the 10th day, so that our sins could be forgiven for atonement. And you know what? One thing's good about it, it's a reminder, like I said last night, Elder. It's a reminder for forgiveness, right? So if the Most High can atone, if he can atone and cleanse my sins from one year to the next, I can't hold nothing against anyone else. Let bygones be bygones and go forward, right? It's a reminder to go forward and not hold on and harbor old grudges. You understand? So I can go forward, okay? And then a whole week where the camp of Israel is out together, all the tribes, like we were in the wilderness, right? Praying with each other. Sometimes I just sit down and sometimes I stand on a little hill and I just look at everybody, just take it in. I just take it in, and I just enjoy just seeing our people peaceful. Not one negative situation, not one fight, no argument, no nothing. It's the total contrast to what they claim our people are, seeing us together like that. So, all praises be to the Most High. If you want the location, you go to the local leadership. And again, it's open for the academy. I want to see you all there. We're going into tracing the serpent seed. You don't want to miss that lesson. Let's see. Yeah, they said the brother said he was under mind control. That's deep. We talked about that. How are they going to be using people under the MK Ultra to pull off a lot of these scenarios? And it's happening right before our eyes, right? Okay, who else we have here? Okay, if you like to come in, You can text 455-888-2759. (304) area code. Elder, the Spirit of Christ is upon thee. My spirit agrees with nearly everything you are saying. I thank the Most High for you. All praises be to the Most High. Who's that? Sunshine? Okay, if you have any questions, you can actually call in if you would like. 455-888-2759. I'll just take phone calls. Just call in. Four 888-2759. I'll take a few calls. If anyone would like to speak on what we've talked about so far, if not, we'll wrap it up and have an early night in preparation for what's about to happen. Man, I got to go get a fresh one tomorrow. Get a nice little haircut, tomorrow.
Don, likewise.
Elder, where did you get this T-shirt? Hey, Shawan, text where I got this T-shirt. The brother gave me the website. If you're listening. Yes. Hi. How you doing? I'm blessed by the Almighty. Yourself?
I'm doing well, amen. Appreciate it.
Talk to me.
Yeah, one comment just on this. You said something, I believe it was last week, maybe a couple of days ago, where
Hold on. Let me take the gate off of this microphone.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, where you mentioned basically, I forget the exact words you used, but you mentioned basically that we have to approach all of this like it's a movie, like it's entertainment. And the more and more I travel, and I just got back from multiple countries in Africa, and I couldn't believe some of the things that I saw in countries that you just wouldn't, I won't mention the country, but you just wouldn't believe what you would see over there. And when I went over this last time, I remember what you said, and you said it before, it's not the first time, about this whole thing being a Hollywood show. What I saw in the smallest country you would never even think of. The people, I'll just say like that you saw controlling the security of a small African nation that happens to have some diamonds, you wouldn't believe. And I said to myself, Elder was right. You can't believe anything you see on TV. And I'll use one more comment to buttress what you said. Something just happened recently. Everybody's going crazy over it. This one person, whatever.
Hold on. I want your volume to come up. So give me a moment, all right?
Sure.
One moment, because I'm gonna use a different microphone for that.
Okay.
1 second here. Okay, this is better. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, I remember what you said. You said if, quote unquote, they didn't want us to see anything that was happening over in Gaza, we wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
And I thought about that. I said, man, and then I got back from this tiny little country, and the things that were happening over there that I saw with my own eyes, I said, they're not reporting any of this.
Okay, what you was over in Gaza?
No. I was in a small African country. I didn't know if YouTube would strike it if I mentioned it, because it just was unexpected. But Elder,
okay, you don't got to tell me where you were, but tell me what you seen. What did you see?
Great question. So I saw the security of a tiny African country that was 100% trained by foreign people that you can imagine who they were. And when I say 100% trained, I mean, it's a country that you just say, okay, where do they get these equipment from? Where were they trained to be like this? Why is their airport like this? I'm sure Elder Lawya probably knows and probably been there.
Okay.
It's in Eastern Africa. It's really small. They happen to have a lot of minerals that you make a lot of money off of. There's a gentleman of a certain persuasion that just got is in the news recently, if you look it up, who basically made billions without even flying under the radar, getting a hold of all these diamonds over there, and their security over there. The security is insane. And I said, all of these countries I've been to in Africa that are bigger, 250 million people, 100 million people, all these massive economies, they don't have training like this. Where do these guys get this training? And it just so happened to be in the same tiny country where this gentleman of a certain persuasion was caught with all those diamonds.
When you say of a certain persuasion, what persuasion? You talking about
the Jewish persuasion.
Talking about the hat? Okay, I got you.
Yeah, that guy. And I think I can say his name, Dan Gertler. That'll tell you the whole story. And I was just amazed. And you, like I said, this small little Hollywood production we hear about, somebody gets hurt, and the amount of emotion that it elicits out of everybody. And then you say to yourself, well, wait a minute, I just left over there. You can't tell me that they didn't see what's happening over there, and you haven't heard one word.
And exactly. So it falls into line where America, the media is very close to what's actually happening in the world when it comes to American media.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
very. And that's what I realized when I went outside the country. America gets no news.
Oh, none.
What we think is news here is no news at all. It's just a bunch of madness, just a bunch of mind control. But go ahead, you have the last word.
Yeah, absolutely none. So I'll just say that it's been very helpful. Like I said, I started with the academy and listening to GOCC from the very beginning. And like I said in the beginning, I said, man, these guys are crazy. And like clockwork, everything that's been said since 2000, whatever it was, has just been happening. And what is getting me...
Hold up, brother. We doing the work. We doing the work of the Most High. We try the best we can. And you seen us and you thought we were crazy. Oh Lord! And they said Christ was crazy, but come on, man.
No. When I say crazy, you just hear these things and you're trained to just believe things in a certain way that you're grown up to believe. I grew up Catholic. I've called in a couple of times. We've had conversations before, and I'm in the Houston body down here.
Yes.
And my transition has been. It's been I can't even say, I don't know what to call it. It's been holy. It's been unbelievable. And like I said, I saw you guys in the beginning when you guys were in London, when you were on YouTube in the very beginning. I think I was over in, I don't know where I was, China, when I started listening to you guys.
Man, you get around, don't you?
Oh no, I get around, man. And and I think that's been the blessing for me to be able to go around the world. I lived in Iran. Brother, I lived in Iran, and go around the world and see these revelations and these prophecies actually take place with my own eyes. And then, so like I said, in parallel, when I say I'm not crazy, but when I said, these guys don't know what they're talking about, whatever. And then right when you say something, I'm in a certain country and I see it. It just hits you in the head. Hits you in the head. So at this point now, I said I got to get through this. I got to plan for what I can plan for. All the passports are ready, all those good things, and I'm in Texas, so whether it be here or there, I'm prepared wherever I got to be prepared. And it really has helped, that whole Hollywood perspective you put on it. So when I hear it now, I'm like, okay, what do they want me to see? What's really happening or what's really important.
Yeah, because even if it's real, they turn it into a production to be used by propaganda.
Correct.
So that's the whole thing. So the whole thing is, and what happens is when they hit your emotion, when they tear down your skepticism wall through emotion, logic goes out the window.
Absolutely.
So that's why, even though no one wants to be insensitive to some of the stories, because But if you take in everything that they report, man, and you internalize it, man, you'll turn out miserable. You'll stay scared, upset, angry, confused. You can't internalize this because it's part of their psyop.
And if I could make one more comment, it's interesting you say that. I was in Angola.
Yeah.
And one of my partners asked me, they call me the white man when I'm in Africa. I am African. I'm actually Nigerian, but I'm old, born and raised in the U.S., so I go back and forth. And they always ask me my opinion. Say, hey, Gabi, what do you think about what's happening in Gaza?
Yeah.
And I thought about it because nobody really asked me here in America. I don't, I'm so-called black man in America. Nobody really asks our opinion on that, right? And in Africa, you get asked that all the time. Gaza, support Israel, blah, blah, blah. And he asked me, I never thought about it. So I looked up, I said, brother, I don't really, I don't want to say I don't care, but I got other things to worry about.
Exactly.
And that was the truth. I had never thought about it. It came to my heart. I said, I have so many. I said, they are murdering, and raping our people in Eastern Congo. They've been doing it. There's 20 million people gone in the past 15 years, 20 million. And you want me to start and say, I don't like anybody getting killed, Gaza or wherever else it is. Yeah. I said, but you pumping that in my head, and I got to tell you, I got my own problems with my own people.
Well, thank you, brother. I got to get the next call, but yeah, brother, I really appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, the water.
All right. Cheers.
All right.
The water.
And another thing, let me tell you. Let me get this one here. 445. Hold tight. It's another thing that.
Hello.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. 445. Okay, where you calling from? England?
No, Pennsylvania.
Okay, you sound like you have an English accent. Hold on 1 second. Okay.
Okay.
All right. One thing I don't like to do is the reason why I don't like to hear about a bunch of negative, because I'm solution oriented. The worst thing you can do is hear a lot of all this stuff you can do nothing about. It leaves you what? It leaves you feeling useless. Here it is, all this stuff going on in the world, and I can't do nothing about it. Right? So the whole thing is we do what we can do, and that's what we're doing right now. But I don't like to hear a lot of negative, because don't tell me something that you don't want a solution to. And that's another thing when we get inundated with all this information continually. It'll make it where you feel useless and you'll give up because the world is so horrible and ugly and nasty. I'm just gonna give up. It's just too much to consume. That's why brothers and sisters understand that the media is controlled by the Magi. Okay? It's made to psychologically have an impact as a form of control. It's the wizard behind the curtain at the Wizard of Oz. So again, when I see the media, I don't look at the story. I look at what laws are they trying to pass because of it. That's what I focus on.
Okay.
All right, 445, talk to me.
Yes, sir. This is EJ again. I talked to you before about the 8-armed lady with the blue face, sir.
You're talking about Shiva?
Yeah, this time you got on to something real interesting again, and then you moved on to something else. I wanted to hear more about the monster. It made it sound like the monster, the sea creatures or whatever, that's why they maybe the nuclear bombs and stuff, or to fight the monster.
Oh, you're talking about Leviathan in the waters?
Yeah, what you were talking about. I like that. I want somebody to elaborate. Was that supposed to be here in the last days?
That's going to surface in the last days. Absolutely. Leviathan.
Oh, this lady kept warning me about all the stuff you've been saying. She came into my life for a segment, but she was saying that like the 8-armed lady and stuff that you were saying really existed or something too.
What all of the guys that you see, that these little weird creatures you see in East India and all that, when you go to these little idol areas and go to their restaurant and see these idols,
All of them were beings before the flood.
So what's this stuff about the body being dug up? Do you know anything about the Euphrates River?
Yes. 90% of the spirits were bound during the time of Noah. And it had been 10% of the spirits operating in the earth up until our recent time. Around the time about probably within 10 years, them spirits were released from the river Euphrates.
Ooh,
and that's when it talks about people will be stung like scorpions. So at that point, the spirit that they release that controls governments, that's a part of governments, initiated the thing where their sorcerers would now implement people getting stung, and through that sting, jabby, jabby, jab, people would start getting sick and die based on that. So when the spirits were released from the river Euphrates, that's when they implemented all of that out there with their doctors and all that, and began to come after our people.
Or they ever going to become like in a physical form, that stuff that pre-existed before the flood? Are they going to come back here?
Well, brother, it's like this, right? There's nothing new under the sun. Nimrod gained fame because he was able to build walled cities against what was out there. And that same construct is what we see in these cities that we come to love because of the comfort and protection we have being sheltered from the outside world. So when these cities break down, brothers and sisters, we're going to see what's really out there. There's many things out there that we'll never understand because we're sheltered within these cities.
So what is the monster going to do when it surfaces, the creatures?
Well, you ever see, we can't go down this because I'm going to be talking about this in the academy, really. But you ever see, what do you think the Asians got the story of Godzilla and all that fighting in the water?
That's what I was getting ready to say, yeah.
Yeah, they got that from their ancient scrolls. It's Leviathan. The two creatures that fight at the end. It's Leviathan and Behemoth. It's in their Asian legends. But really,
I don't want to get too deep.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Ham, Shem, and Japheth. The Asians are Japheth, not white people, folks, the Asians. Ham, Shem, and Japheth, these were three sons on Noah's Ark. The Asian name for Noah is Yu, Y-U. Under their legends, they know about their creation because their father, Japheth, was on the ark. So a lot of these stories we see with Leviathan fighting and all that come from our information, the Hebrew information concerning history. Right? So that's all they did was make money off of it. They made productions off of it. But all of that, Leviathan and Behemoth, they go through gates and portals within the earth. They'll show up on one side of the earth and the other side of the earth. Now, when they come out of the waters, they're going to be wrecking shop. The same thing you see on those old movies. They're going to wreck shop, but Christ is going to destroy them.
Like Godzilla, going to knock stuff down.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and yeah, China going to be stepped on. Right?
So what are they going to do? Do you think they're going to try to use nuclear weapons against the creatures?
They're going to try to use weapons, but they're going to, but they're going to use weapons. It's going to be, it ain't going to be like, back when I was growing up.
What seal is that? What seal is that? Is that going to be going Armageddon and Mark of the Beast all at the same time?
All at the same time.
Oh, that sounds wow.
Yeah, and Christ's going to put a foot in it.
Wow. Do you think that's why they got the stuff out in the water ready now?
Yes, they do.
So they're not really going to use them on each other.
It's not going to be, they've already subdued the earth, so there's another form of warfare. What they're putting together now there will be missiles launched. Right?
But I don't want to get too deep. I don't want to get too...
Let me answer the question.
Yes, sir.
There will be missiles launched, but I got a video today that they're talking about amongst Congress, the Senate and Congress right now, where they are afraid because something came out of nowhere, out of thin air, and split one of their missiles in half.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Yeah. So there's realm wars going on right now. So in the midst of them shooting their weapons, the Most High is going to intervene with the spiritual realm and overtake the war.
Well, what is this thing they're saying is headed here now? They're saying something that looks like it's a ship or whatever. Do you know anything about that?
They've been saying stuff was coming for the last... I mean, you had Dr. York talking about Planet Risk is on the way. So I'm not taking heed to anything outside of that because the only thing that's coming, I know that's coming, is Christ. So you have to watch their stories also because sometimes they put out stories to justify more funding towards their space program.
Real quick, and then that's my last question. What about some of this stuff that's on Google Space? I don't know if you're familiar with some of the things intergalactic. Like I seen some stuff that refer to like stuff that you're saying, but they're saying that these things exist there. Or
what they call intergalactic is not intergalactic at all. It's the Gregory. We wrestle not with flesh and blood. There's realms and thrones and dominions on the upper part of the earth outside the firmament and on the inside of it. It's called the Gregory. These are spirits.
Yeah, because being the lady, we went on something.
Brother, you're going to keep this rolling, ain't you? Are you in the academy?
I want you to talk about some of the stuff that's going to be here.
Brother, guess
like
what?
That.
Well, the stuff, we got 1 week. We're going into the Ark of the Covenant, and another week we're going into unidentified flying objects. I think that's right up your alley, isn't it?
I don't know. I've been on Google NASA Space, and I seen something that said Mercury had a ship, the god Mercury. It looked like something out of Star Wars.
Oh, did you just accept what I just rolled out? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What did I roll out?
What I just rolled out. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, we're going into unidentified flying objects. I think that's right up your alley. What do you think?
Well, there's some people like Perry Stone. They're talking a little bit deeper than you, like what I was just saying.
Well, brother, listen. I'm not into a deep challenge. I'm just answering your questions. Do you want to know or do you want to know? It's going to be in that class. We're talking about race wars right now, and somebody putting some propaganda to try to come against black men. And you want to talk? Yeah, I'm down with talking about ships when it's time to talk about those.
Yeah.
All right. So in the spirit of the Most High, Shalom. You know what that is?
Shalom.
You know what that is?
Goodbye.
No, that's peace.
Okay, peace.
What's your name?
EJ.
EJ. I spoke to you before,
I forgot
EJ.
your name too. I know you mentioned Elder Lawyer. What's your name again?
I'm Elder Rawchaa. Nice to make your acquaintance.
Okay.
My brother.
Yes, sir. Have a good evening.
All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you for your information.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, boy, they get all lathered up when we go into to what they think is sci-fi, ain't it, Lawyer? 971 area code. Hold on. 971 area code.
Shalom, Elder.
How you doing?
All right, that brother was really interested in the events that's going to unfold. He had me chuckling.
No, it's all good. Talk to me.
Elder, I want to say this real quick before I forget. Before I ask you a question, I had closed my eyes one time, and I seen me and you handing out Gapping Up Christ long sleeve shirts.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if the Most High was trying to tell me something like that to help out you do that one day or something. I don't know, man.
Well, you know what? That's a good idea. You know what? Hey, the brother that make these shirts,
What if we had the long sleeve ones, but not too heavy?
Right. That's what I saw too. Yeah.
I can see it too. Brother, make sure we make these shirts long sleeve, not too heavy. Some hoodies also.
It was all.
Go ahead.
Right.
I'm feeling
and it
that.
had the Gathering of Christ logo on it in the front.
Well, thank you, my brother.
Yeah,
I'm going to do that.
Cool. Praise the Most High. The question I had, like, I remember we spoke, I think it was like 2 weeks back. I was just wondering, like, how can I decide to pick the right mate when they got people got these vaccines? You know, these females that could have vaccines and stuff, man. I don't want to pick the wrong girl.
The Most High didn't give you the spirit of fear, right?
Yeah, but I got to use discernment.
and brother, if you roll out like that, you ain't gonna never get somebody. So you're gonna have to make a choice. Do you want a woman or not?
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah.
All right. So make it happen.
All right. Last thing I was gonna say about that Charlie Kirk dude, man. I was talking to this young Edomite brother. He was like, man, black people better watch out because it's first this Ukrainian girl that got stabbed, and then Charlie Kirk gets shot. I guess there's somebody they looked up to highly, and I was just like, man, he got shot by another Edomite. So like, how do you blame that on us? And I just told him who the Israelites is and why the world's in chaos and why they want to demonize us for the aim at us. So I just wanted to share that with you as well.
I seen that with that Charlie Kirk thing, and it looked gruesome, but like I said, it's tough for me to what they see on TV. A lot of this stuff we're seeing looks so convenient.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm going to look at the laws they're seeking to pass behind it, and whether or not they will deploy troops there now, and if so, it falls in line with everything else because things are conveniently happening in all the areas that they had sanctuary cities. Now that just can be a coincidence, but again, that didn't look too good what was shown, and I'm keeping my eye on that. Real quick, I'm gonna let you get the last word, but brothers and sisters want to know exactly where I got the shirt. Judah Clothing. Just type in Judah Clothing. Yeah, you can put on that shirt right there. And guess what? Elder Rawchaa has nothing to do with it. I get absolutely nothing. I just want to support a brother's work. Right? Judah Clothing. There it is. You can get your 12 tribes flag available now. There it is. Look at this brother. Oh, they got a hoodie right there with the Hebrew flag. But brother, you got to do this. You got to do this with this hoodie right there. You know what I mean? That's what's happening. Right? You got brothers modeling and everything up in here, ain't it? Boy, Jake be styling and profiling. There it is. Judah Clothing. All right, talk to me. You have the last word.
Yeah, I was trying to get the Most High to do something for me, and I had read in the Apocrypha. He said, if you look out for the orphans, the fatherless, and the widows, he'll look out for you in a time of trouble. I was just trying to see what's your thoughts on that.
Well, that's what Christ said he's come to do. And we do that all the time within the ministry itself.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking about doing that some on my own personal time.
Hey, brother, listen. If that's on your heart to do it, bless you, my brother.
Okay.
Do it. Do it. You store up riches in heaven for that.
Praise the Most High. Say a prayer for me before I go out there, and I want to make sure I do everything right. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, listen. Are you a part of a church?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, well, listen, I don't circumvent the authority of the church that's there. What I do, so don't be getting no rules directly from Elder Rawchaa and tell Elder Rawchaa sent you to do something.
No. I was doing this because I just wanted to get something from the Most High. That's all.
Brother. But I'm saying what I'm saying.
Oh, no, I ain't gonna say nothing about the church. That's fine.
No. Listen to what I'm telling you. Make sure whatever you've told me,
check with the authority that you're under in your respective area. Okay.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, I got
Yeah,
you.
because I'm not going to undercut someone else's authority.
Oh yeah, I'm out in
Check.
another
Listen.
state right
Check.
now. I
Listen.
ain't in,
Listen to me.
Go ahead.
Check with them. I rescind what I've just told you. Check with them and ask for them. Ask them, can you do that? And then get me on the line with it. All right.
Okay.
That's how you do that. All right.
All right.
All right. Next thing you know, you be like, regard just appointed me to do something. Deuces. I'm not trying to hear what y'all got to say. Well, we can't do that, brother. All right.
I understand. I appreciate that too, Elder.
My brother. Let everything be done in decency and in order. Bless you.
Sure. Shalom.
All right. All right, Elder. I think we're coming up on the nap, on the 8-hour nap, ain't it?
Oh,
I got one more.
Yes, we are.
302 area code. Talk to me.
Yes. Greetings, elders. I have a couple of questions. First one is, where do y'all have any gatherings that's near Southern Delaware? Because a lot of I'll just throw it out there. I've always believed in the Sabbath, but the only Sabbath keeping gatherings or churches that I knew of around this area was Seventh-day Adventists, which I came out of probably about 2-3 years ago. So I'll start, there. But I've gone through a different denominations and everything, but I was not ever allowed, because the Ruach HaKodesh would not allow me to continue while I was trying to find the truth. So in saying that, Delaware has nothing.
Okay, when you say Southern Delaware, what area are you speaking about?
Harrington, like where the beaches are.
Oh yeah, you're all the way over there. You're closer to DC than you are. You closer to Baltimore in that area than you are Philadelphia, right?
About the Baltimore is probably about 1 hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours.
Okay, and how far is Philadelphia from where you are?
1 hour and 45 minutes.
So you're right there either way.
Yes.
Okay, we don't have nothing in that part of Delaware, but we will soon be having something in Delaware as far as Wilmington goes. How far are you from Wilmington?
1 hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, you might as well come to Philadelphia.
Okay.
Right? You might as well come to Philadelphia in the meantime.
And so that was my first question. And the second was, as far as the Feast of Tabernacles.
Yeah.
Where do y'all camp?
Well, we keep that exclusive from the locale. You got to be baptized in the church. Everyone just can't. You got to be baptized. Are you baptized in our church?
I'm baptized. I was baptized twice, actually, because I was baptized first when I was 12 years old, because that's what you do as when you're in the Baptist.
Okay.
At age of accountability. And then I was baptized again when I started reading and studying and understanding who the Most High is, and started having a relationship.
I'm saying, but were you baptized? You're not baptized under our church, correct?
No, I'm not.
Oh yeah, so we've already took the roles for all those in advance to be there for the camping. Especially we'll be out there with strangers, and we don't want anything to happen. Not to say anything would happen with you. It's just that you came in too late. We've already got the roles. I mean, the numbers already filled for that.
So in Tabernacles, that's when y'all do the baptism for the gathering of Christ in church?
Oh no, the Tabernacles is Leviticus 23, where we go out and dwell in booths outside. We camp together for a week straight. But if you would like baptism, I can take down your number. I'll have the bishop call you up and we'll set up a baptism, get you in the church, and then you'll come to all the holy days going forward from there. Is that okay?
All the holy days on the what day?
I say once you're in the church, you would be invited to all the holy days amongst the church. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, 1 second.
I downloaded the calendar from off of the holy days from off of the from online. So I do know. I've been studying about the solar and the moon.
Hold up. You download what from offline?
Excuse me?
You download what calendar from offline?
I downloaded y'all have a calendar online that tells you what the holy days are.
Oh, you talking about the gatheringofchrist.org? You went there to get it? Okay, all right.
Yes.
Let me get your name.
My name is Sonia.
Sonia.
It's SONJA. It's Sonia.
Sonia.
Yes, and my last name I go by Yashrael.
Okay. Okay, Sonia, we'll get someone to call you before Friday and welcome you to the body. Blessings.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Bless you. Hey, the Most High is bringing people in, ain't he? He is bringing people into the fold. All praises be to the Almighty. Well, Elder Lawya, I think this concludes our broadcast here. That's Brother Rawchaa, who owns the Judah Clothing. Make sure you do what you can to support. The Hebrew and Bible Academy is still open. We're only in week 1, and the brother out there, if you want to know about UFOs, that's going to be actually one of the lessons we teach, breaking down the spiritual realm. The Most High has his ships, his vehicles, and Satan has his vehicles also. So, hey, with that, we're going to say shalom. May the Most High be with you. Stay prayed up, sin not. We will soon see Israel. We are the children of Israel, and yes, we are back. Good night.
Shalom.
Shalom, Elder. Yes, yes, yes. Blessings.
Asha in Colombia, Ruben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. That's who we be Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians, Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, and Valley from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulon from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans. Our highest gathering Israel.